All right, now a special action news investigation tonight involving a 2-year-old girl who was beaten to death back in February. It happened while she was in placement through DHS. And while an arrest has been made in the case, the child's biological mother is questioning why it took nearly 6 months when she says it seemed clear to her who was responsible. Investigative reporter Chad Padelli looks for answers as to what went so terribly wrong.
This is 2-year-old Saleha Williams, a vibrant little girl with a big smile. According to an autopsy and DHS investigative files, she was beaten, found unresponsive, and covered head to toe in bruises that did not make sense for a 2-year-old. At the time of her death, Saleha was living with 23-year-old Denasia Harper and her partner, 24-year-old Diamond Joyner. Tatiana Hawthorne, Saleha's biological mother, objected to the DHS placement of her daughter, but to no avail.
How have the last couple of months been for you? How you been handling it?
It's hard.
An autopsy report shows Saleha died from multiple blunt impact injuries that included contusions to the intestines and bleeding on the brain.
This is a 2-year-old girl who was murdered in her home.
Attorney A.J. Thompson represents the 2-year-old's estate. He says Harper is the one who initiated a DHS investigation in 2021. He says the child's mother was told by DHS that Harper called the agency reporting burn marks on the girl that she said she saw on Instagram. DHS began investigating.
You can just call DHS on somebody in this city. Now, some people do it just to get back at somebody. But here, it seems like the motivation was to become the parent. Well, how'd that work out? And this woman...
Hawthorne says she first met Harper briefly while both lived in a group home nearly 7 years ago. And she says the two had almost no interaction since. After that initial 2021 investigation, the child was placed with Harper, who, according to DHS records, claimed to be a maternal aunt, which she's not. Her lawyer is suing a city subcontractor, saying the agency's negligence in investigating led to the tragic placement of the child.
It defies credulity that this person who claims to be a maternal aunt is not, and makes up a story to get DHS involved. DHS would then give the child to her. But that's what happened here.
And Harper was given custody not once, but twice. Several months later, doctors determined Saleha was not burned at all, but those marks were instead a skin condition. A judge ordered custody to Saleha's biological father at the end of 2021. What happens over the next 5 months is hard to pin down, but Saleha lived with her father's family during this time. Then, in May of 2022, Harper again petitions for custody, and in January of this year, gets it. 1 week later, Saleha's dead. According to interviews in DHS investigative files, on the night of her death, Saleha was home with Harper's partner, Joyner, and Joyner's young nephew while Harper worked. DHS files reveal the little boy told investigators Joyner kicked Saleha twice when she didn't clean up her toys, and she began foaming at the mouth. The 2-year-old died a few hours later at the hospital. In interviews with investigators, Joyner denied kicking the child. The medical examiner ruled it homicide.
Do you believe your daughter would still be alive if she wasn't placed in DHS care?
Yes, I do.
Through her attorney, Diamond Joyner says she's innocent. She was arrested and charged with murder earlier this month and due in court tomorrow. We reached Harper by phone multiple times. She would not answer our questions. I'm investigative reporter Chad Padelli, Channel 6 Action News.